Roseanne Harbor stood in her rose garden, bathed in the August sunset of Charlotte, North Carolina. Her vibrant red and soft pink roses bloomed brilliantly. At 62, she retained a sharp beauty, but today her eyes held worry as she thought of her son, Alex, and the woman he loved, Danielle Carter. Alex, 34, was Roseanne's greatest pride. As the marketing director at Pinnacle Solutions, he had a corner office overlooking Charlotte, a charming smile, and a bright future. Roseanne had raised him alone after her husband Tom died 20 years ago. She dreamed of a perfect life for Alex, a worthy wife, a distinguished family. But Danielle, his fiancée, wasn't the one she envisioned. Danielle, 28, was an ordinary accountant living in a modest East Side apartment. She grew up in hardship. Her parents divorced when she was 5, both remarried, leaving her to be raised by her grandparents. Roseanne didn't deny Danielle's kindness. She had a warm smile, sincere eyes, but kindness wasn't enough. Alex needed someone like Sophia Bennett, a cardiologist and the daughter of Roseanne's best friend, Margaret. Sophia embodied perfection, intelligent, elegant, and familiar with Alex's world. Tonight, Alex and Danielle were coming for dinner, and Roseanne had prepared everything: roast beef, linen tablecloth, fine china. But inwardly, she was plotting. She would invite Sophia to another dinner, arranging for Alex to meet her. Just catching up with an old friend, she told herself, but deep down, she knew she was sowing seeds of division. The screen door creaked, and Alex stepped onto the porch, his suit impeccable, his smile radiant. "Mom," he said, kissing her cheek, "the roses smell amazing. Where's Danielle?" "She's in the kitchen," Roseanne replied softly, her eyes scanning him. Dinner was tense. Alex spoke excitedly about a new project at work, while Danielle listened, offering gentle smiles. Roseanne watched her, searching for flaws. Danielle mentioned volunteering at Carolina's Medical Center, helping elderly patients with small tasks like errands or reading. "Yesterday, I read to an older lady," Danielle said, her eyes bright. "That's admirable," Roseanne said, but thought, admirable, but not enough. After dinner, as Danielle cleared plates, Roseanne pulled Alex onto the porch. "Son," she said quietly, "I know you love Danielle, but is she right? You're important, Alex. You need someone on your level." Alex frowned, hands in his pockets. "Mom, Danielle's the one I want to marry. She's kind, smart. You haven't seen all of who she is." "But I see Sophia," Roseanne said firmly. "She's a doctor, Alex. She understands your world. I invited her to dinner next week, just as friends, but you should meet. For me." Alex sighed, his eyes weary. "Mom, I'll come, but don't make things hard for Danielle. She's trying so much." Roseanne nodded, but she was resolute. She would do anything to show Alex that Sophia was the right choice. As Danielle stepped out, Roseanne felt a pang of guilt, but pushed it away. This was for Alex's happiness, she told herself. Her heart twinged, a dull ache she attributed to stress. Meanwhile, Danielle drove home, her heart heavy. She knew Roseanne didn't approve, those cold glances, veiled remarks. But she loved Alex and would keep trying. She didn't know Roseanne was plotting to change everything, or that fate, with its hand of kindness and faith, was waiting to guide her to a different future.
The ballroom at the Westin Charlotte sparkled under crystal chandeliers. Soft jazz mingled with laughter and clinking wine glasses, painting a scene of opulence where Danielle Carter felt out of place. She stood in a corner, her borrowed navy dress hugging her frame, simple pearl earrings, a gift from her grandmother, her only adornment. At 28, she'd never attended an event like this, a charity gala for Charlotte's elite, where designer gowns and gold watches were the norm. Alex Harper, her fiancé, seemed born for this world. In a tailored tuxedo, he flashed a confident smile, shaking hands with colleagues from Pinnacle Solutions. "You okay?" he asked, leaning close amid the crowd, his breath carrying the familiar scent of coffee. "This night's a bit overwhelming, huh?" "I'm fine," Danielle replied, forcing a smile. But she wasn't. She felt like a daisy lost among Roseanne Harper's roses. Then Sophia Bennett entered. Danielle's heart tightened. Sophia, 33, a cardiologist and Roseanne's best friend's daughter, wore an emerald gown that clung to her slender frame, her smile confident yet warm. She shook hands with a city councilman, laughing with donors, as if she were the center of this universe. Roseanne beamed at Sophia, waving her over. "Sophia, you look stunning," Roseanne said sweetly. "Don't you think, Alex?" Alex smiled, his arm around Danielle's waist. "They both look great, Mom. Sophia, it's been a while. How's the hospital?" Sophia's eyes sparkled. "Busy, but worth it. We just launched a heart failure study. You? Still ruling the marketing world?" They chatted, their tone familiar, like old friends. Danielle stood there, feeling like an outsider. Roseanne, subtly but deliberately, suggested Alex and Sophia dance. "You two were the best pair at the school prom," she said, laughing. Alex hesitated, looking at Danielle. "Want to dance?" he asked. Danielle shook her head, her smile strained. "Go ahead, I'm fine." But she wasn't. She watched Alex and Sophia glide onto the dance floor, the chandeliers casting a glow on them like a perfect painting. Sophia's hand rested lightly on Alex's shoulder, their movements seamless, as if they belonged together. Roseanne stood beside Danielle, her eyes triumphant. "Sophia is something special, isn't she?" Roseanne said, her voice sauced but pointed. "She and Alex share a history. I just want my son to be happy." Danielle nodded, her throat tight. "I understand, Mrs. Harper." But she understood all too well. Roseanne wanted Sophia, the accomplished doctor, the daughter of a prestigious family, the one who fit perfectly into Alex's world. Danielle excused herself and stepped onto the balcony, Charlotte skyscrapers glittering like dreams she dared not touch. She loved Alex, loved him fiercely, but this moment made her wonder if love was enough. Her parents had abandoned her, choosing new lives over her. Now she feared Alex, or Roseanne, might do the same. Inside, Alex sensed the distance. He glanced at the balcony, seeing Danielle alone, her shoulders trembling. He wanted to run to her, but Roseanne held him back, her voice soft but firm. "You see, Alex, Sophia fits you. She understands your world." "Mom," Alex said, his voice hard, "I love Danielle. You need to accept that." Roseanne smiled, but her eyes didn't waver. "I just want what's best for you. Think about it, Alex." As the gala ended, Alex drove Danielle home. She was silent, holding his hand, but he felt the gap between them. "You okay?" he asked, parking outside her apartment. "I'm fine," she said, her voice shaky, "just tired." Inside her apartment, Danielle sank onto the sofa, clutching her grandmother's blanket. She thought of the hospital, where she helped patients like Clara Marshall, where she felt valued. But tonight, she felt small, like a daisy crushed among roses. She didn't know Roseanne was planning another dinner with Sophia as the centerpiece.
Roseanne Harper woke in the middle of a night, a sharp pain in her chest stealing her breath. It had been 3 days since the charity gala at the Westin, where she'd pushed Alex toward Sophia Bennett, and the dull ache she'd felt for weeks had turned fierce. She reached for her phone, hands trembling, and called Alex. "Mom?" Alex's voice was groggy but worried. "It's late. What's wrong?" "My chest hurts," Roseanne whispered weakly. "I need you." "Don't move, Mom. I'm coming. Call 911 if it gets worse, okay?" 30 minutes later, Alex was at her side, her face pale as he helped her into his SUV. Charlotte's streets were quiet at night, neon lights flickering past. At Carolina's Medical Center's emergency room, Roseanne clung to Alex's hand. She'd always been strong, the widow who raised her son alone, but now her body faced fear. The ER doctor, a young man with kind eyes, ordered tests: EKG, blood work, chest x-ray. "We suspect a heart issue," he told Alex. "We'll keep her for observation. Dr. Bennett is on call. She's one of our best. She'll take over." Roseanne's heart lightened despite the pain. Sophia Bennett. It was as if fate supported her plan, bringing Sophia and Alex closer. Sophia entered, her white coat crisp, dark hair neatly pinned, eyes warm. She reviewed Roseanne's chart and smiled. "Mrs. Harper, I'm sorry to see you here, but we'll take good care of you. Alex, it's been a while." Alex nodded, still holding his mother's hand. "Thanks, Sophia. How's Mom doing?" Sophia's tone turned serious. "Tests suggest possible arrhythmia or early heart failure signs. We'll do an echocardiogram to confirm, but we'll stabilize her with medication for now. She'll need to stay a few days." Roseanne nodded, her mind spinning despite her frail body. "Thank you, Sophia. I know you'll do well." Sophia smiled faintly, adjusting Roseanne's IV. "I'll do my best. Rest now. I'll check back later." As Sophia left, Alex sank into a chair, his face weary. "You scared me, Mom. Why didn't you say you weren't feeling well?" "I didn't want you to worry," Roseanne said, her voice weak but firm. "You're busy with work, with Danielle." Roseanne gripped his hand, her eyes resolute. "Alex, I just want you happy. Sophia's here, saving me. She's special. You see that, don't you?" "Enough, Mom," Alex said sharply. "I love Danielle. You know that." Roseanne sighed, her eyes misty. "I don't have much time, Alex. I just want to know you're settled, with someone who can care for you. Sophia understands you, your world." Alex stood, pacing. "Mom, I don't want to talk about this now. You need to rest." But Roseanne wouldn't stop. She saw opportunity in her illness, a way to make Alex see Sophia. She'd invite Sophia closer, perhaps to oversee her care personally. Alex would see, he had to. That morning, Danielle arrived at the hospital, eyes tired from a late work night. Alex's call had pulled her here. She found him in the waiting area, his shirt rumpled, face etched with worry. "How's Mrs. Harper?" Danielle asked, touching his arm. "Stable, for now," Alex said. "Sophia's taking care of her. They think it's a heart issue." Danielle's heart sank at Sophia's name, but she nodded. "I'm glad she has a good doctor. Can I visit?" Alex hesitated. "She's resting, but okay." In the room, Roseanne looked small in the hospital bed, silver hair loose, an oxygen monitor on her finger. But her eyes were sharp, studying Danielle. "You didn't need to come, Danielle," she said, her voice weak but cold. "You must be busy." "I wanted to," Danielle replied, stepping closer. "I'm praying for you, Mrs. Harper." Roseanne gave a faint smile. "Thank you. Sophia's wonderful. She's my lifesaver." Danielle nodded, the words like a knife. She looked at Alex, who avoided her gaze. The air was heavy, tense. Danielle wanted to say something to prove she belonged, but the words caught in her throat. Sophia returned, checking the chart. "Mrs. Harper, your vitals are improving. We'll do the echocardiogram tomorrow morning. Alex, can I talk to you for a minute?" They stepped into the hallway, leaving Danielle with Roseanne. Silence weighed heavily. Finally, Roseanne spoke, her voice low. "Danielle, you're a good girl, but Alex needs someone on his level, someone who can care for him. You understand, don't you?" Danielle swallowed hard, nodding. "I just want him to be happy." In the hallway, Sophia explained the treatment plan to Alex, her voice calm. "She's strong, Alex. We'll get her through this, but don't let her stress." Alex nodded, his mind tangled. He thought of Danielle, his mother, the growing pressure. He loved Danielle, but his mother's words, "I don't have much time," echoed in his head. That night, Danielle returned home, her heart heavy. She stopped at the small church near her apartment, kneeling in the dim candlelight. She prayed for Roseanne's health, for Alex's strength, and for her own courage. She didn't know fate was leading her to a new path, where her kindness would be rewarded. Roseanne Harper's dining room in Charlotte glowed under the chandelier, set for an intimate dinner. The aroma of roast beef with red wine sauce filled the air, a recipe she'd once made for her husband, Tom, in happier days. Tonight, her goal wasn't nostalgia. It was to shape her son Alex's future. Sophia Bennett, the cardiologist, was the guest of honor. Roseanne had planned carefully, an evening to show Alex Sophia's perfection and make him see Danielle Carter didn't belong in his world. Though still weak from her chest pain the previous week, Roseanne had refused to stay longer in the hospital. Sophia, her doctor, agreed to monitor her at home, an opportunity Roseanne seized to bring Sophia closer to Alex. She wore a sapphire sweater, hiding her fatigue with subtle makeup, but the dull ache in her chest reminded her time was short. She had to act fast. Alex arrived early, his suit jacket off, sleeves rolled up, eyes worried. "Mom, you sure you're okay?" he asked, standing at the kitchen door. "The doctor said you need rest." "I'm fine, son," Roseanne said, her voice light but firm. "Sophia's coming, and I want everything perfect. Just a small dinner to thank her for taking care of me." Alex frowned, hands in his pockets. "Mom, I know you like Sophia, but I've told you, I love Danielle. Don't make this complicated." Roseanne smiled, but her eyes were cold. "I'm not doing anything, Alex. It's just dinner. Danielle was invited, but she said she was busy, right?" Alex nodded reluctantly. Danielle had declined, citing a big marketing project at work. He knew she was avoiding them, still hurt from the charity gala where his mother pushed him toward Sophia. He wanted to call her, to fix the growing distance, but his mother's frail health made him unable to refuse this dinner. The doorbell rang, and Sophia entered, carrying a bottle of wine and white lilies, Roseanne's favorite. Her smile was warm. "Mrs. Harper, you look so much better," Sophia said, handing over the flowers. "Thank you for inviting me." "You're wonderful, Sophia," Roseanne replied, arranging the lilies in a crystal vase. "Come in, we're about to eat." Dinner began awkwardly. Sophia talked about her hospital work, her heart failure research, her voice passionate but not arrogant. Alex listened, nodding, but his eyes were distant, as if thinking of someone else. Roseanne, at the head of the table, steered the conversation, subtly bringing up old memories. "Remember those summers at Lake Norman?" she said, laughing. "You and Sophia raced in the water, and she always won." Sophia smiled, her eyes sparkling. "Only because Alex let me win. He was always a gentleman." Alex gave a faint smile, stirring his mashed potatoes. "That was a long time ago, Sophia. Now you're saving lives, and I'm just trying not to spill coffee on my reports." Roseanne had in, her voice sweet but sharp. "You're too modest, Alex. You're a marketing director, a star. And Sophia, you saved my life. You two are quite the pair." Alex set his fork down, his voice tense. "Mom, that's enough." Sophia looked down, clearly uncomfortable. "Mrs. Harper, I care about Alex, but I respect his relationship. I'm here for dinner and to check on you, that's all." Roseanne nodded, but her eyes didn't waver. She knew she was pushing too far, but last night's chest pain had scared her. She needed Alex settled before it was too late. Meanwhile, in her small East Charlotte apartment, Danielle sat at her kitchen table. The glow of an old lamp illuminated scattered papers. Her marketing project, a campaign for a major client, was going well, but her mind wandered. She thought of Alex, of Roseanne's cold gaze at the gala, of how he and Sophia looked like a perfect portrait on the dance floor. She'd skipped tonight's dinner, claiming work, but really, she couldn't face another moment of feeling out of place.
She stood, grabbed her volunteer badge, and drove to Carolina's medical center. It was where she felt valued, where she could help without judgment. At the waiting area, she met Marla, the night shift coordinator. "Danielle, you're back?" Marla said, smiling. "Clara in room 3112 was asking for you." Danielle nodded, bringing a magazine for Clara Marshall, an elderly patient she cherished. Clara, her silver hair neatly braided, sat by the window, an oxygen tube under her nose. "There you are," Clara said, her voice raspy but warm. "Thought you forgot this old lady." "Never," Danielle replied, sitting down. "How are you doing?" "I'm fine, but what's got you looking so sad?" Danielle smiled, her eyes stinging. "Just work stress, that's all." "It'll be okay," Clara said. Danielle nodded, slipping a $20 bill into Clara's drawer, her habit to help patients with small expenses. As she left the hospital, her heart felt lighter, but the ache remained. Back at Roseanne's, the dinner grew tense. "Alex, Danielle's a good girl, I don't deny that," Roseanne said. "But she doesn't belong in your world. She grew up with hardship, no parents, no ambition. Sophia's different. She can stand by you, help you shine. I just want what's best for you, Alex. If I go, I need to know you're taken care of." Alex froze, his hands gripping the chair. His mother's words cut deep. He loved Danielle, her gentleness, her kindness, the way she made him feel at peace. But his mother lay here, frail and scared, and he couldn't bear disappointing her. "Mom, don't say that," he said. "He'll be fine. But I can't do what you want. I don't love Sophia." "Just consider it," Roseanne whispered. "Spend time with Sophia. For me." Alex didn't answer, but the pressure weighed on him. Leaving the hospital, he drove to Danielle's East Charlotte apartment, needing to see her, to remind himself of what mattered. Danielle opened the door, surprised. "Alex," she said, "I thought you were at the hospital." "I needed to see you," he said. They sat on her sofa, and he told her about his mother, about Sophia, but not Roseanne's request. Danielle listened, her voice soft. "Is your mom okay?" "Better," Alex said, "but she keeps talking about Sophia." Danielle nodded, her heart aching. "I know she wants the best for you. Maybe she's right. Sophia's a doctor, successful, a better fit for you." "Don't say that," Alex cut in. A sudden call from the hospital, his mother's pain had worsened, sent him rushing out. As he left, Danielle felt a crack between them. She didn't visit the hospital today. Roseanne had made it clear she wasn't needed. Instead, she threw herself into work, focusing on her marketing project. It was a big opportunity, a campaign for an international client, with her leading a key part. She worked late, sketching strategies. Days later, at the hospital, Roseanne called Alex to her side. She looked weaker, but her eyes burned with intent. "Alex," she said, her voice trembling, "I've thought a lot. If you agree to spend time with Sophia, I'll rest easy. It's my last wish." Alex looked at his mother, his heart heavy. He didn't want to, but seeing her so frail, he couldn't refuse. "Okay, Mom," he said, his voice hoarse. "I'll meet Sophia, just to make you happy." Roseanne smiled, hiding her triumph. She knew she was manipulating her son, but she believed it was for his good. Sophia was his future, not Danielle.
Meanwhile, Danielle got a text from Alex. Need to talk. Meet tonight? She agreed, but when he arrived, his eyes avoided hers. Mom wants me to see Sophia a few times, he said hesitantly, just to ease her mind. I don't want to, but she's sick. I can't say no. Danielle's heart shattered, but she nodded. I understand, she said, her voice breaking. Do what you have to. That night, Danielle sat in her apartment, clutching her grandmother's blanket, crying. She thought of her parents, who'd left her for new lives. Now she feared Alex would do the same. She didn't know that fate, through her work and kindness, was about to lead her to Ethan Marshall, who would see her true worth. Danielle Carter sat in her small East Charlotte apartment, the desk lamp casting light on scattered marketing project papers. It had been a week since Alex told her he'd spend time with Sophia Bennett to ease his mother Roseanne's mind. But what he called making Mom happy had become an unbridgeable rift. 2 days ago, at a small downtown cafe, Alex confessed, his voice trembling, Mom wants me to get engaged to Sophia. She's sick. I can't let her go without peace. Danielle had nodded, holding back tears, and said she understood. But when he left, her heart broke, just as it had when her parents abandoned her as a child. She loved Alex, loved him painfully, but she couldn't compete with a dying mother and a brilliant doctor like Sophia. She'd returned the engagement ring, a small gem Alex chose because he knew she loved simplicity. I want you to be happy, she'd said. Now she threw herself into work. The marketing project for an international client was her chance to prove herself. She was no longer just an ordinary accountant. She'd been tasked with leading a key part of the campaign, partnering with Marshall Enterprises, a top Charlotte ad firm.
That morning, Danielle arrived at her office at Horizon Media, a small but dynamic firm. She wore a sharp navy suit, hair pulled back, hiding her tired eyes. The meeting with Marshall Enterprises was held in a sleek downtown conference room. Danielle presented her ideas, a campaign focused on sustainability, targeting young consumers, her voice steady. Ethan Marshall, CEO of Marshall Enterprises, sat at the head of the table, listening intently. At 36, he had an unassuming presence. He nodded as Danielle finished. Miss Carter, your ideas are impressive, he said, his voice deep. Focusing on sustainability is smart. I want to work closely with you to develop this. Danielle smiled, a rare spark of confidence flickering. Thank you, Mr. Marshall. I'm excited to collaborate with your team. After the meeting, Ethan asked her to stay and discuss details. They sat by a window overlooking bustling Tryon Street. You volunteer at the hospital, don't you? Ethan asked, catching her off guard. My mother, Clara Marshall, in room 312, talks about a volunteer named Danielle who brings magazines and pays for small things she needs. Danielle blushed, surprised her quiet kindness was noticed. It's just little things, she said. Clara's wonderful. She always makes me laugh. Ethan smiled, his eyes warm. Mom says the same about you. She calls you a gem. I agree. Danielle looked down, unused to praise. She shifted to the campaign, but Ethan had a way of making her feel seen, not just for her work, but for who she was. He shared how he built Marshall Enterprises from his father's legacy and spoke of his mother, Clara, battling heart disease. She mentions you often, he said. You brighten her toughest days. As Danielle left the meeting, her heart felt lighter, though still sore from Alex. She drove to the hospital, unable to resist visiting Clara. Clara's eyes lit up when she saw Danielle. There you are, she said. Heard you met my son today. Danielle smiled, sitting down. Yeah, he's my client's CEO. He's kind. Kind, huh? Clara raised an eyebrow. Ethan's a good man, Danielle, and he needs a girl like you, someone with a big heart. Clara took her hand,
her voice firm. "Listen, Danielle, you don't need to be anyone but you. You're here, late at night, helping folks like me. You pay for small things nobody knows about. That's what makes you special." Meanwhile, at Roseanne's house, Alex sat across from his mother, guilt and pressure crushing him. Roseanne, just out of the hospital, looked frail but determined. "Alex, what did you tell Sophia?" she asked. "I talked to her," Alex said, exhausted. "She agreed to an engagement." Roseanne smiled. "You'll see, Alex. Sophia's your future." Danielle, home that night, prayed at her kitchen table, asking God for strength to move forward. She didn't know Ethan Marshall, who saw her kindness, would soon be a new light in her life, or that fate was guiding her to a happiness she deserved. Danielle Carter stepped into Horizon Media's office, morning light streaming through the windows, highlighting colorful sticky notes on her desk. 2 weeks had passed since she returned her engagement ring to Alex Harper. 2 weeks since her heart broke under the weight of Roseanne Harper and Sophia Bennett's. But today, Danielle felt a flicker of hope. Her marketing project, a sustainability-focused ad campaign for an international client, was thriving, and she was set for her second meeting with Ethan Marshall, CEO of Marshall Enterprises. Ethan, with dark brown hair and sharp green eyes, had left an impression on Danielle. Not just for his sharp leadership, but for how he spoke of his mother, Clara Marshall, a patient Danielle helped at Carolina's Medical Center. Ethan had noticed her quiet kindness, the $20 bills she left for Clara, the magazines she brought, and it made her feel seen, a rare feeling since her breakup with Alex. The meeting was at Marshall Enterprises' sleek office. Danielle presented her campaign update, and Ethan listened, jotting notes, nodding approvingly. "Ms. Carter, you've got real talent," he said as she finished. "This idea isn't just creative, it's heartfelt. I want you to lead the campaign's rollout." Danielle smiled, her cheeks flushing. "Thank you, Mr. Marshall. I'm honored." "Call me Ethan," he said, his smile putting her at ease. "And I'd like to invite you to lunch to discuss more." Danielle nodded, surprised by the offer. "Thank you, Ethan." They walked to Pho Charlotte, a cozy spot. Over lunch, Ethan shared how he built Marshall Enterprises, working late nights to prove himself. "My mom, Clara, was always my biggest supporter," he said, his eyes softening. "She says you're special at the hospital. She doesn't praise lightly." Danielle laughed, stirring her pho. "Clara's amazing. She tells great stories about her teaching days. I just try to do small things to make her happy." "Those small things aren't small," Ethan said, looking at her directly. "Mom says you pay for things she needs, like meds or snacks. You don't brag, but it means a lot. I want to thank you for her and all the other patients." Danielle looked down, unaccustomed to attention. "I just do what feels right. Growing up, my grandparents taught me kindness is how you give back to life." Ethan nodded, his eyes full of respect. "That's rare, Danielle. The world needs more people like you." That evening, Danielle returned to hospital, bringing home-made cookies. Clara smiled when she saw her. "There you are," she said. "Ethan talked about you after your meeting. He likes you, Danielle, not just for work." Danielle blushed, shaking her head. "Clara, I just got out of a relationship. I'm not ready for anything." "You don't need to be ready," Clara said, taking her hand. "Just be open. Ethan sees you, really sees you, and so does God. He's got a plan, you know." Danielle nodded, her eyes stinging. She didn't know Ethan, at home, was thinking of her, of how she brightened his mother's life. And she didn't know that Roseanne, in her rose garden, was facing new chest pain, but didn't call Alex this time. Instead, she prayed, for the first time in years, asking God to show her what was right. Roseanne realized she'd been wrong to push Alex into something he didn't want. The chest pain eased. She called Alex, apologizing. "Alex, If you want, live the life you choose, she said. But Alex surprised her. I'm still marrying Sophia, Mom. A man has to take responsibility, and our engagement's already public. I can't let drama hurt my work or hers. Danielle's seeing someone else now, a big-shot CEO, and she deserves someone better than me. What we had is the past, and it can't be fixed. We both know the people beside us now are our fate, arranged for us. We owe it to them to face it with duty and honor, not just love. And Mom, I've forgiven you. I don't blame you anymore. Please, be happy. Your health matters most now. Roseanne, for the first time, felt free of guilt and pressure. If you can, she said, send my apology to Danielle, and may God bless her.
Thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe and share your own story in the comments. Your voice matters.